Ladies and gentlemen, I have definitely delivered a lot of speeches in my life, but never have I had to go up on speech after such a great performance like Admiral Ruffy. So I do feel a little bit intimidated, but whatever, I'll solve it. I'm a Swede, I can do this. I'm not going to do an ABBA song though, I'll talk about something instead. Are you okay? Don't worry about it, it's fine.
There it is, if you don't touch it.
Okay. Dear friends and honourable colleagues, it is with a great pleasure that I'm standing here in front of all of you this evening. I represent Save the Children International, one of the world's leading child rights organizations. But before I start talking about what we do, and our partners do foremost, I'd like to express my gratitude to the organizers of this first ever Global Summit on Ending Corporal Punishment. First of all, for convening such an important meeting and for its long-standing commitment to the promotion and the protection of children's rights. Joe, Liz, where are you? George, and all other distinguished delegates who have come from all over the world, I'm honoured to be in this room tonight. Thank you. You might know that Save the Children was founded 92 years ago, and if you don't, it's absolutely fine. Now you know. The organization was founded during the First World War, and it was to address the needs of children suffering from results of the war on both sides of the conflict. Our founder, Nilsson said, "We can be sure that those whom we help today, they will help us tomorrow." This is even more true today if we aspire to find solutions to climate change, war, and economic crisis. We need children to grow up healthy. We also need to well educate you, and we need you to be free from fear. The progress we've made so far for children inspires us to believe in the future. Nilsson promoted the idea, revolutionary at the time, that actually children, they've got rights, right? And in 1923, she wrote the Declaration on the Rights of the Child, subsequently adopted by the League of Nations, which is like the old name for the United Nations. This historic document was the foundation for the UN Declaration and later on the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which this year celebrates its 22nd anniversary. It also functions as the basis for my work and my organization's work. Still today, an estimated 300 million children worldwide are subjected to violence, exploitation and abuse. Millions more, not yet victims, also remain without adequate protection. Do you know that punitive violence by parents and other adults kills many children every year, and it seriously injures hundreds of thousands more? This makes corporal punishment the most common form of violence against children. Do you also know that 40 states still authorize the whipping or flogging of children in their penal system? Do you know that only 38 states have a law prohibiting corporal punishment in all forms of alternative care? This is only 6.3% of the world's children. Do you know that more than 90 states still authorize the beating of children in their schools? This means that 40% of all children are lawfully beaten and humiliated in school. So far, like George pointed out earlier on when we set up the flags earlier on today, 29 states have achieved full prohibition as of today, June the 2nd, 2011. Many of them through advocacy, directly or indirectly, pursued by Save the Children and our partners. And this means that 95% of the children of the world today are still living in countries where no law prohibiting corporal punishment still exists in the setting of the home. I think it's important to remember that building on Save the Children's research initiatives, in March 2011, and you've got this report in your bags, UNICEF published for the first time ever in the history of that organization the results of the largest cross-national attempt to measure the prevalence of corporal punishment. It found from households in 37 countries that two-thirds of the world's children aged 2 to 14 experience corporal punishment. 86% experience physical punishment and psychological aggression. And as the UNICEF report notes, and this is crucial to remember, the true extent of the violence against children is impossible to measure. Why? Because most of it happens in secret and it's not reported. These figures are therefore obviously inevitable underestimates because they are based as they are on self-reporting by parents, not by children. In consultations all over the world, children are giving evidence that corporal punishment is the most common form of violence and the most widespread form of violence experienced by them in the world today. Save the Children believes that it is not just essential to listen to you guys, but you know what's most important? Is to act upon what you say. There is a Swedish saying that goes the following: the knowledgeable person talks to children, the wise one listens to you and acts upon what you say. Save the Children works towards eliminating all forms of corporal punishment in the home, in the school, and all other settings. We do this through 4 pillars: legal reform, social awareness initiatives leading to social change. We also do promoting of parenting, so positive discipline, and finally, child participation. The importance of involving children and young people in our programs on corporal punishment is crucial for our credibility. No way can you be Shabla's organization and not involve you guys. It is, however, very important to remember and underline that actions towards ending all corporal punishment should tackle both its legality and its practice. We've got several countries where there is a law against corporal punishment, for example, in the setting of the school, but it's not being implemented because teachers don't know what to do instead. And you can't really say to them what you've done so far is wrong, because they've done it because they think that's the right thing to do. Our vision is that the right of every child to life free from violence, including, of course, corporal punishment, will be realized. And our aim is that all societies will recognize corporal punishment and all other forms of cruel and degrading punishment as violence against children, with the result that legislation, social behaviors, and practices are changed. Our approach to end corporal punishment of children is a rights-based national child protection system, which actually recognizes that the state's responsibility and human rights obligations to children and provides governments with a coordinated and sustainable way to protect children. A good system, because there are plenty of bad ones, is actually set up of laws and policies. And there's a central government coordination mechanism with a clear mandate. You see, we need effective regulation and we need monitoring at all levels. We also need committed, competent workforce, and we need a child-friendly environment. We need non-discriminatory services. We need this to be accessible to children. Children and all other members of society should be involved in developing of the monitoring of this system. It's crucial. Because you see, no society can pretend to be child-friendly while it has laws and social attitudes which actually tolerates any violent punishment of children. Nor can any country claim to have an effective child protection system while its laws authorize or tolerate some level of violent punishment of children. It is therefore quite rewarding when I last week, when I visited New York, got to know about the upcoming consultation on social justice for children to end child abuse and violence against children, which is to be held at the Bar Association of the City of New York in November, this coming fall. This event is being organized by the Interdisciplinary Department of Children's Studies at Brooklyn College. And speakers include Marta Santos-Pais, the Special Representative on Violence Against Children. It also includes distinguished representatives from the judiciary, child rights attorneys, the social behaviorists, as well as neurosciences, academics. And the major mission of this consultation is to present significant data and research on the topic, to expand the Child Rights Working Committee and to develop a strategic plan to pursue policy and also to initiate legal initiatives in this area, as well as to develop a national awareness campaign. Because, you know, there is no rationale why we should hit and punish children. This is a fundamental rights issue, and it's the same with equality. Nothing is more symbolic of the, the low status of children in society across the world than the perceived rights of adults to hit and humiliate children, disguising the violence as discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, we must realize that corporal punishment is not an issue which in any sort can compromise and be acceptable.